Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Mike is here. Amy is here. Hello, Ames. How are you?
How's it going?
Good. What's wrong with you?
What? What do you mean?
Mm,
Nothing. What's
nothing.
wrong
You didn't
with
seem
you?
bubbly. Like, hey, what's going on?
Oh, sorry. Hey, what's going on?
Don't be an asshole.
Is that-
No, that's wrong. Something's wrong. You
no,
patronize me.
I've got Mike. I've got a little bit of a migraine starting. I wasn't gonna say anything because
Ugh.
you're just gonna give me shit about it, and you're gonna call me a
Yeah, totally,
pussy and
totally.
whatever. But
Yep, yep. Rightly so.
it affects me in general. I
What is
just
with the woman's
can't help
brain?
it.
Why do you guys get all fucking like? Oh my god, I'm a vagine all of a sudden for no reason in the middle of the day. What is
Oh,
that?
well, I don't know that men should be talking about being vagines when they're sick. Seeing it as men are the
Yeah.
worst.
Well, we complain a
But
lot.
I don't know if you've ever had a migraine. Have you ever
I
had a
mean, I've
migraine,
had
Mike?
bad headaches before, but you guys act like you need surgery.
Okay. No, have you ever had a
Okay,
migraine?
I've sprained my ankle and I've broken my ankle. I don't know that I've ever gotten diagnosed with a migraine. Like usually when a guy gets injured, he ends up in a hospital and they go, yep. So if someone said to me, you're suffering from a migraine, okay. I've had bad headaches, laid in bed and told everyone to fuck off. Like, is that a migraine? I don't know.
No, that's a bad headache.
Okay, well, what's the difference?
I mean, migraines, sometimes you're vomiting. Um, light, like this ring light is literally like
Turn
killing
it
me right
down.
now.
Turn it
Like just
off.
having light in your eyes. Um, you're when you just move, you hear this like I hear this whooshing in my ears and my head is like
Yeah.
pounding just whenever I move my head.
Yeah. No, I know the warden gets them all the time.
It's
Yeah.
brutal.
Beth used to get them all the time. They usually start, I don't know, I've found they usually start 6 months into a relationship. And then once, once a week at opportune times from there on out is kind of how I remember that going. I could be
Yeah.
wrong. 6 months to a year into a
Yeah.
relationship.
No,
So I don't
that's
know what that is, but
yeah.
yeah. No, I remember with Beth, it could be
They
because she
suck.
didn't want to bitch and whine about it, but I remember it being like absolutely debilitating, like just shut it all down. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
brought it up to the warden one
Yeah,
day.
and when you're PMSing makes it even worse.
Yeah, I brought it up one day. I remember you had a migraine and I walked past her. I was like, "What is with you fucking guys getting your migraines?" Blah blah blah, and she immediately went into like, because historically all men are doctors and they don't care about women's needs. And I was just like, okay, have a good day, see ya.
If you
And just kind of walked by.
actually if you actually got a migraine, you would be the biggest pussy, quite possibly ever.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably why God didn't give men migraines.
Yeah, I think some
He
men
just
get
he just gave
migraines.
us like the emotional weight of the world and put
Sure,
in
right.
like that. Like you're gonna have to
Yeah,
carry the world. Everything that happens of like that matters in the
right.
world is on your shoulders. So you deal with that and push everything down because no one will give a shit at all about you or your needs. And then you girls over here, we're gonna like bing, we're gonna make your head sting for a little bit.
Yeah,
Something like
just
that,
that's
I think.
all. And
Yeah,
not bleed
your
for
head's gonna
1
sting.
week a year for 30 fucking years. Nothing like
Yeah, I
that.
think.
Or, having to push a baby out of your vagina or birth
Yeah,
another
oof.
human being. I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do
but
that. No.
geez. Yeah, no, it's gotta carry the weight of
Ooh,
the
we're gonna
world
make
on your
that hole
shoulder.
in your legs ache a little bit for like an
Yeah,
hour, one day, a couple times in your lifetime.
it's
Ooh,
not the
and your head's
hole
gonna
that
sparkle.
hurts.
It's not?
Well, I
Tell
mean,
me
maybe
all about it.
during giving birth, but
Yeah.
when you just have your period, that's not hurting.
No, I get that one.
Oh, okay.
That's like, oh, your belly hurts for a couple days or something like that. I can't remember
Yeah,
exactly how
you
it
know what,
medically
Mike?
goes.
I would love have you seen those videos? Have you seen those videos where they put, like, the cramp machine to simulate cramps on a man so you can feel, like, what contractions feel like or feel
Yeah.
like what cramps feel like? I
Yeah.
want you in one of those
Yeah.
stat.
I wanted
And
you
I
in
want
one
to
of
see
those,
you are
like,
going to be at the
yeah,
lowest fucking number of a
totally,
contraction and
totally.
just be in tears on the ground.
Have you seen those machines where they put the weight of the world on your shoulders? Like, I want to see one of those on you where they put all the weight of
Yeah.
society's ills on you and see if you
Yeah.
can carry that around a little bit. And I don't know, we could just do a
Yeah.
test. See how you do with that and see how I do with your little belly cramp machine.
Well, hey, we're starting out with compliments.
Who who dat on
Who's
the
that on
right?
the
Woof.
right? Woof. So,
Justice for Josie DeCastro. All right.
Josie DeCastro.
As long
So,
as
thank you for
justice for
that.
Josie's listening, we don't care. And woof,
Yeah.
that's hilarious. They only say that to cute people. Like, notice they don't say it
Yeah.
about me.
Is he wearing
Like,
a fez?
hell
A
yeah,
fez
dude.
hat?
Fez's rule.
Yeah, I just feel like if you're wearing a fez hat, maybe keep the comments to a minimum, but that's just
What
me.
are the Fez
Thanks
hats
for
for? I can't
listening, though.
remember. Yeah, of course.
Don't the Shriners wear those?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Shriners. See, I want one of those water buffalo ones that the Flintstones used to wear. I want one of those hats. I always get those and Fez's confused. And
No,
I don't
fezzes
mean
are
to
like
like,
those little like bellhop hats that sometimes they'll put on like pet monkeys.
yeah, those are sweet. Do
Do you
they
know what I'm
always have
talking
like a
about?
graduation tassel on them? Is that the other
Yup.
thing? Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. How was your weekend? Your Memorial weekend? Was it good?
That's my business, Mike. Yes,
Okay,
it was
good.
great. How was
Yes.
yours?
It was goodish. Goodish.
Goodish. What
Yeah.
did you do?
Not much. The warden had some friends over yesterday or the day before, whatever it was. And so there were some steaks on the grill kind of thing.
Nice.
And Stinky went into pool. Cece did,
Fun.
which was cool. G and I went to the movies on, was that Friday night? I guess probably Friday night or Saturday, maybe one of those. They all become the same. So I did that. That's the second weekend in a row, I believe, that I've gone to the movie theater. I haven't done that since the Riff days when we would go to premieres and stuff all the time.
Mike, I
but
feel like you just saw a movie.
Yeah, I did. A couple weeks ago, I saw it. Dude, it's not me, but I'm trying to be like a team player. That was kind of the point of coming out here. It's like, okay, how do real human beings and families live? Try and be part of something. And so G and I went and saw. Yeah, that was a family thing. I regret that still, but and I knew I would. I knew I would hate it, but that was totally taking one for the team. Like, and I knew that movie was going to suck. It did. I don't think it's one. I think the point I made that is like, this is not going to be like Star Wars or Ghostbusters or Back to the Future, a kids movie that they're talking about in 50 years. But nonetheless, I went and saw a couple weeks ago though that is it the new Marvel one?
Seems like there's always a new Marvel movie that's out.
Yeah, well, they ended their big like 16 movie whatever, and now they got to reboot something and figure something out. So they're going with like these characters you've never heard of, and they're kind of the bad guys or something like that. Can't remember, the Untouchables or something. It was all right. It was fine. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. I don't care that much. It's something to do. But I did go see the Mission Impossible. The Final Reckoning over the weekend.
Okay.
Tom Cruise. Are you a movie chick? Do you like going to movies?
I used to be more than I am. I'm a YouTube person, and as you know, very consumed with jury duty. So I don't have, and I really more like binging shows and
what are you binging right now?
Documentaries. Truth, I'm not even kidding you when I tell you that the trial is taking up my entire life. So I'm not binging anything right now.
Have you watched Mobland yet?
No.
Dude,
I did
fantastic.
watch. Have you watched
that one? You should get into
Osama bin Laden documentary on Netflix.
Yep.
I watched that over the weekend.
Yeah, that's great.
And I watched You. I finished watching You. Did you watch that on Netflix?
I did.
The last season just came out, so I watched that over the weekend as well.
Yes, I had to go back a season because I think I started it, got 3 or 4 episodes in and didn't watch it. And so I was kind of lost. on a lot of stuff. So I watched the end of that, and then I kind of binged one week the, I don't know, 10 episodes of the final season. I thought the final season was pretty good for that show, honestly.
Yeah.
It sort of tap dances the line of like wokeness and all that shit.
Yeah.
But it still carried me. And I understand it's like a famous female author or something, like that series was kind of geared towards women. It hits all the things you're looking for in, like, I'm watching jury trials on murders and stuff. Like, it hits all those sweet spots for women, I feel like. But I still liked it. Kind of felt bitch-like a little bit watching it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty good. It's hard. It's hard to wrap up a series, a show. You know, I was waiting for them to move the island stuff, you know, and it's like, cool. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
You know, not to derail you from the movie, but just to talk about that Osama bin Laden thing really quick.
Sure.
I did enjoy the documentary. I thought it was good. It's super interesting hearing like how it all went down. Like I can't ever get enough of that, you know, about like just
9/11.
You know, Obama's decision. I mean, they really didn't know if he was in there or not. Like it was a hunch. I mean, they thought he was, but they weren't positive. And so, you know, for as much shit as I give Obama, that decision took balls, and I give him credit for that.
No
because
doubt.
there were also some people who said he shouldn't do it. So he had to make that decision on his own as president, and it was a good one. So props to Obama for that. But what I did have an issue with, there was a point in that documentary where it turned into like this whole big sob story of the analysts, like, we were being blamed. They were saying we should have caught this. And it's like, yeah, you fucking should have. You literally should have caught this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's fair. That's fair for this. So spare me your, you know, sob story.
I've watched, this is one, there's certain subjects where there's very few things you're going to have in there that I don't know, because I know that story so well. And I've seen interviews literally with every person in this latest Osama bin Laden documentary. I've watched them for years in documentaries, because I'm like you, I can't get enough of it. I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget where I was, what we were doing, what it meant, how it changed society, the whole thing. Like, the loss of innocence from that moment on, it was never the same. Even though, you know, things are okay, it was just like, it changed everything. It was like a wake-up call to all Americans, you know? And so it had such a drastic impact on all of us. You know, it's the show that if I run into anybody or if I'm online or anything, people bring up the most. It's not, you know, some story Drew told or Mike told or something we did or some event. It's that broadcast, like that one people lead with, like that day. And probably we would have been the absolute most unprepared for a show. It would have knocked everything else off the table. No drop would have applied. No, you know what I mean? Like, it would have been all of us in a room on the fly in the moment, like, holy shit, the whole script changed, and go. That's what that day was.
Yeah.
And so all the prep you would have done, all the interviews, like anything you would have set up in advance and highlighted and like all out the window. And it's the one that everybody will ask about, or not even ask about, but just be like, dude, you were with us that day. Like, it's crazy. It's the impact that had on Metro Detroit. And I'm sure other shows around the country that did similar things get similar reactions from their audience. Like, it affected everybody. There was no like, oh, this is something that affects women, or this is something that affects, you know, marginalized community. Like, no, it was boom, everybody at once. And it was just crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, that being what it was, I've watched every documentary that's come on about it, every one of them. So, you know, and on September 11th every year, I don't know what it is, the History Channel or whatever it goes, like on a, you know, and you're probably one of those like me. You probably get high as balls and can binge 12 straight hours of, the minute by minute documentaries. And, yeah.
For
so
sure.
there's not.
It was interesting.
No. I was
Go
just
ahead.
going to say there's not a lot that is going to come out from that. I still find them super fascinating, though.
It was interesting seeing the part, maybe I knew about this, but I think I didn't remember, but the part about the correspondence dinner, which was happening like the night before. And they thought, we need to go to this just to kind of maintain normalcy. So people don't read, if all of us just don't show up, it's going to be kind of weird. And I forget who was doing the comedian who was doing the speech at the correspondence dinner, but he made a joke
guy
about Osama bin Laden.
Seth Meyers.
Yeah, Seth Meyers. And he was, made a joke about where Osama bin Laden was. And it pans to Obama's face. And then also
his chief of staff,
I think he was
the
guy
with the
head
huge
of the
nose,
CIA.
Liam Panetta.
Yeah, the guy with the huge, Liam Panetta shows him. And it's just, and I think Liam Panetta says, like, I was just sitting there thinking, if you guys only knew what we know, and it's like, there were like 4 people in the country that knew about it at that time. And it's just interesting because, as you're going, that could be happening at any moment, like anytime we see Trump, he could have been 5 minutes after making a life-changing decision that we don't know about yet, like you're making the craziest decisions in that job.
Insane moment. And then
and the story of the fucking story of them training and all the shit they did to train for that, and how they they would rearrange the compound every single day because they didn't know how it was laid out, so like they had to
movie.
And you just think, and it is, and the guy's saying, like, we had already accepted the fact that we were gonna die. Like, coming home alive was just going to be a bonus.
I would say, so you're talking about Robert O'Neill, talking about that. I don't know where you land on Robert O'Neill. Yeah. He's the guy that, claims to have taken the shot that killed bin Laden. He loves talking about it. It kind of goes against,
I would too.
But he loves it so much. There's so much drama around him and his story. Like, there's not a camera or a microphone he doesn't love, and talking about that.
I know, but I don't blame him.
I know.
Like, if that's your claim to fame, you took out the world's most sought after terrorist. Yeah. I mean, I feel like
I feel you, but there's also some build up to it. Like, there's something you wouldn't see Jason Bourne talking like. No, I understand that, but that's the mentality you have of those guys, right? Is that kind of like there's guys, and then there's this level guy that are so black ops and special forces, whether it's the Delta or SEAL Team 6, or like those dudes are in the shadows. They're ghosts. Mm-hmm. I want to think of it like, if this goes wrong, you don't exist, sir. Like, I like thinking that world exists, and those guys don't do books and interviews and stuff like that. So there's something
That's
a
true.
little.
Is it a psyop?
Wait, right. No,
is that where you're going with this? Like, because I will tell you, I had just the split second of thought when I was watching it, because I forgot that they disposed of his body at sea, which was bizarre. Like, fucking bizarre to me. I don't know why. It was just weird. And so I was like, did we actually see him? Did we see him? Do we know that he's actually dead? Okay, but have we seen the pictures?
Yeah.
Or is it just like a trust me bro thing?
I've seen pictures, and it's gruesome headshot. I think they're out there. And I think there was DNA testing. So did they go on a tour with the body and show it here it is? Like, no. But I think those pictures have been out there.
I would have liked
maybe
that.
And I liked.
Didn't we deserve to string him up in town square and treat him like a piñata for 24 hours? Like, we all get a whack at him. Didn't we deserve that as a country?
Yes, but they did do that. And that's supposed to be the difference between us and those people. But disposing his body,
Oh, I thought you meant our SEALs
No, they
did that.
probably
Our Navy
whizzed on him or
SEALs did
wiped their
that before
dicks
they
across his face or something. They took ball shots,
Oh,
and
man.
their balls in his eye sockets.
Totally. One
Yeah,
can only
I mean, I
hope.
wouldn't put it past those badasses. I do like the story of like, no, we were going to be respectful enough to give him a burial at sea in line with religious customs, to not just throw the Arab world into a shitstorm. And also, we're not going to give him the respect of a burial site where people can go and it becomes kind of a martyr's shrine. I do
Yeah.
kind of like that. It's like, no, we collected our DNA, we got our photos, and then you're
Yeah, it's
fish food,
fish food.
fuckface. That's how this ended for you.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, technically, wasn't Khalid Sheikh Mohammed the actual
Yeah,
architect of 9/11? I mean, like I feel like most people knew Osama bin Laden, but Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, he did the first
yep,
bombing of the World Trade. Like his goal in life was
yeah,
to take down the World Trade Centers, and he was like Osama bin Laden's number one
right.
right hand guy. And we did capture him. I mean,
And he's still a pain in the
one of our
ass.
jails, I
And
think,
people
right
still
now,
want
isn't he?
him out and
Yeah.
justice and like what? Yeah, that's what they're trying.
Yeah.
They were trying to avoid. Bin Laden though was the financier. Like someone's got to be the head of it. He came from
Yeah.
the billionaire Saudi family or whatever, and yeah, there's no debate about where he is.
It's so crazy though. Like it's just so, and the fact that the
Ugh,
helicopter
I know.
crashed and like people are tweeting about it, like
Ugh,
helicopter crash, blah,
crazy.
blah, blah. Yeah. And that they survived that is insane.
Yeah,
Like
and then
it's
having
just
to
so
blow the thing
wild.
up.
So imagine the adrenaline that must have been going through them running through that house.
Well, I think that's the point of those guys is the adrenaline's not magnified. Like it must be on some level, but isn't that what their training is? So that, yeah, the plane went down. So what? Okay, this is a false door. It's not a real door we're breaking through. All right, plan B, C, D. Like you're
Right.
at that point, you're locked in.
Right.
It's like a receiver running routes. Like it's your second nature. Like
Yeah.
no thought, no,
Yeah.
like it's crazy for us to think about,
And-
but yeah.
And they also said that there was 20 minutes of silence from when they touched down on that compound until they got word that they got him. Could you fucking imagine if we sat here right now in 20
Oof.
minutes of silence? It would feel like
Are you
an
talking about in the war room
eternity.
back at the White House? See,
Yeah,
the one that gets
yeah.
me is them on the plane and like, tell me when we're out of Pakistani airspace and into
airspace.
Afghanistan, was it, or vice versa?
Yeah.
And dude, that's
Yep.
like an hour
Yep.
flight, and it's at any point
Yeah.
the Pakistani military
Any point you can get.
and
They were
yeah,
flying
and
next to him,
justifiable.
remember?
Like if you think about it, they would have had
Yeah.
every right.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you didn't announce this.
Yeah.
You didn't tell us. Like, if that happened in
Yeah.
America, you would be
Yeah.
like, hell yeah, I want Selfridge to launch
Right.
jets and like, yeah, no, you don't just get to go to onto
Yeah.
foreign soil and do whatever you want, and knowing that risk and calculation, and sitting there watching the minutes, like 9 more minutes, 6 more minutes.
Yeah. And it's not like you could even tell them on the way back, like, okay, we made it there. On the way back, if they catch us, we'll be like, hey, listen, we're just on our way back
Yeah.
from killing Osama bin Laden.
Mm-mm.
You can't tell them that because then they're going to leak the news. Like,
Yeah, and then seeing the
just so
celebrations
crazy, though.
outside the White House at what would have been like a midnight. Yeah,
almost brought me to
It's-
tears. I
Yeah.
got chills watching that. I really did. Like,
yeah.
man,
It's a
That was
3-part
awesome.
documentary. I can't remember, something Osama on Netflix is what we're talking
Yeah.
about. If you haven't seen it, or I've yet to meet the person. I'm shocked how many people feel exactly like you and I do, that like I can't get enough of this subject, and so a lot of people have probably watched it, but
I'm sure there's, if there's something like a big event in your life like that happens, you probably just can't get enough of it. But then again, like I think about it, I don't think I will not be the same way about like COVID content.
mm-mm.
I feel like, even though that was another big thing in my life that happened, that probably won't
Well,
ever happen again.
It certainly
don't-
won't bring people together.
I feel like
There's
it's not
something
as-
about 9/11
yeah,
that
that's true.
rallied everybody. It was like
Right.
I
mean, everybody had an American flag on their car.
It was like your team, like a national version of your hometown rallying together for a World Series title or a Super Bowl. Like it was like that, but nationwide, and it included all states. Super batshitty liberal California and New York, and like it affected Californians the same as it did people in Alabama. It was wild to live through.
I feel like if that were to happen today, I feel like half the country would be like, well, why'd we have to kill him?
Maybe. Yeah.
Although Trump did take out what's his face?
Soleimani. Yeah. There's there's a few of them. And people bitched about that. People bitched about that due process and like all kinds of shit.
You know what?
Yeah.
Fuck all the way up. Oh, I know what else bugged me about that documentary is, when they started talking about, like the torture and how we're supposed to be better than that. And there were some people who were like, I'm done. I can't be a part of this because they're torturing. And I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a flying fuck what you do to those dudes. Do not care. If you are not my problem. Don't fly a plane into the World Trade Center if you don't want to be waterboarded. I don't know. It's like a pretty simple rule.
It goes against Geneva Convention stuff, and I'm with you. No, I'm right there with you. I feel the same way, where it's like, oh, they strung this one up and put a fucking silly hat on him, and they stripped them all nude and made them hang out together and called them homos or whatever they did. Like, all right.
You know what else goes against the Geneva Convention?
Absolutely.
Flying planes into the World Trade Center. So if they don't want to play by the rules,
because we're better than that. It's the revenge aspect of it. Like, you motherfucker. Like, there's that.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, and do whatever you have to do to get info.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
They
really do it in movies all the time. They do.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it
totally looks like it sucks.
Whatever.
They actually have one of those scenes in the new Mission Impossible movie with a torture scene, and it's funny. The guy walks in, he's just like, yeah, don't even bother. Like, this guy knows how to fucking not deal with he knows how to deal with the pain. Like, you're not gonna, and it's
right. You're not. There's not anything. Like, if you just put me under a washcloth and put water on my face for like 10 seconds, I will tell you.
You just put me out. Take the fan off. Turn the fan off in the overhead when I'm sleeping, and it's like, oh my god. Yeah.
Play EDM music
there you
for
go.
10 minutes straight. Blare it into my cell, and I will be confessing anything you
I
want
would
to know.
recommend seeing this movie, though. That Tom Cruise stuff on the plane, like, it's such a bummer. I saw Tom did a interview with Pat McAfee. And it sucked. It's okay. It's fine. It's just super ass kissy, which in their defense, that would be really, really hard. Like, Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise. It's like, there's just levels to this, and certain people are, it would be really, really hard not to be like, oh my God, that's Tom Cruise. Like, it just would for anybody.
And I wish I didn't dislike him as much as I do, but I just feel Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
He's hard to like because of just the whole Scientology thing is really bizarre to me.
I agree with you. I hate, like, I can't get over Aaron Rodgers can't make up with his family and his brother, and like that, something about that, really bothers me when you can't, like, I don't know, like, lots of people have issues with family members. There's just something about it. And this idea that Tom Cruise, like, it can't be asked about, and he doesn't even, I don't think Surrey even talks to him. But then it's hard for me to take you seriously when it's like, oh my God, the world's all about love. And, I love everybody and respect everybody. And I just want the best for everybody. It's like, hey, hold on. I got a question. Like, why doesn't your 23-year-old daughter talk to you at all? Like, like, it's not, you're not some guy you're not George Floyd, right? You're not someone like that where the daughter's like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this guy. He's just a sack of shit through all existence. Like, no, That's not Tom Cruise. And so there's something like, really, you can't. I don't know. There's just I know what you mean.
Yeah, but they're like a suppressive person, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah. Yeah, where it's like, oh, you're divorcing Tom, then you're gone. Everybody that's ever known you doesn't exist. We can't speak to you ever again. Like it's just,
Yeah, imagine that. Like the whole basis of your relationship with Tom Cruise is whether or not you're in Scientology. That would be tiring.
it would be exhausting. Yeah. Seems very controlling and
But I do know that the movies that he does
and
are
those
good.
scenes,
I do
like
know that.
my problem with the Pat McAfee interview is it's 35 minutes long, 30 minutes long, something like that. And it's like you touch on him filming on the plane and all that, and he gets sort of in like I have so many questions after that interview. Like if you're going to do that, interview, go on Rogan, do 3 hours and go deep dive into all that stuff. Like make me understand how it's humanly possible to do the wing acrobatics and film that. Like, no, I need more than that. I need more of an explanation as to how. I totally believe it seems like an impossibility that you're going to be on a plane like that. You are one gust of wind somewhere. Like you've been in a small plane, right? Have you ever flown with Travis or anything like that? Ryan, like,
fuck no.
When I fly with Ben, our birthday brother, it is, and these are much bigger planes, these jets than those ones that are flying in the new Mission Impossible movie. There's just no way around it. You cannot feel comfortable. They are going with the wind. It's just the way it is. Now you're going to do acrobatics and film it and follow us. Like you're going to have to make that make more sense to me.
Yeah,
you can't just say it's Tom Cruise.
Hello?
He does his own stunts. Okay.
He's a Scientologist. He has L. Ron Hubbard looking over him.
I need more than that.
What more explanation?
Well, the movie did sitting over 200 million globally, did 190 million. So it had to do more than 200 globally. If it did 190 million in its opening weekend, the biggest in Mission Impossible history, not even the number one movie of the Memorial Day weekend, though.
What was?
Do you even know any other movies out there? I wouldn't have. I didn't even know this was out there. But apparently, Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Lilo and Stitch?
I think it's Lilo.
Lilo. That took in $341 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah. Tom Cruise has spoken out. This weekend was one for the history books. Congrats. Thank you to every filmmaker, artist, crew member, and person who works at the studios, to every theater employee, blah, 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 who helps bring these stories to audiences. Thanks to all the normal. And most of all, thank you to the audiences for whom we all serve, whom we all love to entertain. Sincerely, Tom. It had a $400 million budget, so it's still got a ways to go before making it back. There's a video when you watch it, they give you an hour's worth of previews and whatnot. But then there's like before the movie starts, Tom Cruise pops up with popcorn. He's apparently a big fan of popcorn. And thanks everybody for coming out and experiencing it the way it's supposed to be experienced. I know I've talked about it before. I'd be interested in your feelings because you're one of these people that when I've been in your company, you want the fuck out of wherever you are. You like, oh, thank you, good night, and you're gone. You Houdini out the back door. You're not hang out and party with people, chick. You're not like, so it seems like you're not very comfortable wherever you are.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
The home movie experience has just gotten so good. Like we all have, I don't know, somewhere between 60 and 100-inch TVs. We all have systems. This is not like, this totally made sense when we had like, and believe me, I was one of those lucky kids whose dad was a fucking nut with this stuff. Like had to have the greatest TV the minute it came out. Like that was my dad. He's super into that stuff. So I had the best TV you could get in 1983 and it was bullshit. It was, a bullshit TV. But nowadays you go to Costco and for $200 you can get like incredible TV setups.
Yeah. And I mean, shit, you can DoorDash popcorn from the movie theater.
Can you really? Yeah. Well,
Yeah, it's on my
so
DoorDash.
Tom's got this big push. Part of his thing is like, everybody go to the movies. We're all going to the movies. And this is so amazing. I look at it like when I was a little kid, you could still go to a drive-in theater. Like that was still a thing. And I think I went once or twice, probably as a 5-6-year-old, something like that. And then that bullshit just went away. Nostalgia, whatever. Theaters was a thing when I was growing up because you didn't have access to everything. But now, like you have access within a week of a movie coming out. It cost like, and my dad bitches about it. Like, oh, I'll wait till it's $5 and rent it. I don't want to pay $24. It's like, what are you talking about? It would cost 4 times that amount to go to the theater. Like G and I drove 30 minutes and then went in there, and the bathrooms are a fucking mess. They're filthy. Waited in line, and I bought a thing of popcorn. G got like 2 bags of M&Ms or something. So he bought the tickets. I bought a frozen drink for myself because I love the slushies. I gotta get the slushes. Yep. And then a thing of popcorn. So his 2 things of candy I bought because he bought the movie tickets. So I'm like, okay, I'll get your 2 things of candy. This. Okay. Yep. Not a bucket.
Right.
2 bags of this, a thing of popcorn for myself, and a slushie. $34. $34. He goes, we're even. The tickets were $34. So it was $68 and a half hour there and a half hour back of driving time to go sit there. And it's like, inevitably it's going to happen. You're going to be 3 minutes in the movie and I'm going to go, what did he say? Someone's going to say something. And it's not because I'm an old man and I'm deaf and I can't, like, there's just certain points in a movie. There's always going to be some British asshole in there and he's going to say something and I'm going to go, hold on, what did he say? And so
I hate the British asshole.
Yeah. The British asshole is coming in for sure. And so I've been watching. Yeah, take it all off.
No, I'm just gonna sit here like this. Like my headphones are in. It's the whole thing.
Yeah. So Mobland is great, but I watched Mobland for 30 seconds. I was like, oh, these guys are saying all kinds of words I don't know, because they're from the UK or wherever, and they're leaning into that in this story. And you need the subtitles. Mission Impossible is like that. There's multiple parts where if I'm home, I'd just back it up. 1 click backwards and I know everything. The pause for a bathroom, like it is what it is. Like I don't know what you do if you're the movie theater industry. Like, yes, it's on a big giant screen and it usually sounds pretty good, but it doesn't, I don't know. I just so prefer sitting on my couch, lounging out. I know that some of the seats recline now. Like, okay, cool. Your seat's not as comfortable as my couch is.
No, I agree, Mike.
Yeah.
But, when you're a young teenager, you can go and you can, make out in the back row.
100%.
So that part's cool.
You're not wrong about that. You are not wrong about that. Anyways, hold on. I was looking for some. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I agree with you as a kid going with your buddies and meeting some girls there. Whatever there's something to that. But now as I'm older, it's like, no, those people annoy me. Kids are still obnoxious and I don't really want to be around them. Yeah,
Mike, you're totally an old man. Okay.
But dude, I've been like this since I was 28. Like I felt the same way. Like 16-year-olds annoy me. Mm-hmm. So even when I was younger, I still felt like that. So I don't know. Maybe I am just old man yelling at the clouds, but I don't know. The whole movie experience is just too cool.
You are.
It's too good.
I agree. It's how I feel about sporting events for the most part as well, which we talked about.
No, I like going once a year. I do. I'm going to go to the Tigers game when I come to town. I'm going to go to the Cubbies Tigers game with Drew. Kelly. I also have a migraine.
My sister also has a migraine.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Kelly. Are you making someone's life difficult because you have a migraine too? Is that a family thing?
Blame it on.
Is it
our
a mom
mother.
thing?
Yeah, we get it from her.
Are migraines hereditary? You know what
Yeah.
would give me a headache? Getting slapped in the face. Getting slapped
Tell
in the
me, Mike.
face, I feel like would give me
By your
Yes,
husband.
by my husband. I got okay, this is the closest I probably ever came to a migraine was the Guns N' Roses Metallica concert when Mike Webster was born. When I was on the news,
Yes.
that story, and we ended up in the snake pit right down front. Duff McKagan spit on me, famously, asshole. One day I will talk to him and remind him that he spit on me. But that when I got punched in the eye, and I've told this story before, but I had a black eye for, I don't know, 6 months. Like it turned the entire pride flag of colors,
Yep.
went from like black to blue to purple to red to yellow, orange, like all of them. And it took
Yeah.
months. That's how hard I got hit. And I remember towards the end of that show, Metallica went on first, if I'm not mistaken. By the end of Guns N' Roses set, I was like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to throw up. This is, it's so loud and the lights, and my head was just throbbing. It's unfortunately what I remember most from that night. So I do feel bad for you if that's what a migraine is like for you chicks, where it's like lights.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Mike, men do get migraines.
I've heard that. I don't know. I don't think I've ever.
Yeah. It's not just like relegated to females, but
You guys kind of dominate that space though.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but that was leading to,
True.
you know, a couple of the boys going at it. Emmanuel Macron and his wife,
Yes.
Brigitte
Quote
Macron.
unquote.
All right, should we watch the video? So this
Yes.
footage came out over the weekend. He's disembarking from a presidential plane after they were reportedly seen bickering. Okay, we've all been in arguments with a significant other. So there they are. That's 2 hands to the chin, and then he's like, "Oh, hi,
The face
cameras."
he makes when he realizes.
Yeah,
The face he makes when he realizes it's caught on camera is so funny to me. It is the
It's
face
damning,
of,
right?
oh, fuck.
Yeah, yeah. We've all been caught off guard. Like, everybody saw that.
Yes.
I picked my nose. I did. Like, we all know that feeling of like, you weren't supposed to see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of those. Do you think, let's watch it one more time. Do you think it's just the timing? Because I didn't realize how quickly that door opens and then the incident happens. So if we go forward to where they show, so the doors open, like, would he know? And these people have seen this shit before, haven't they?
Oh, boy, have they ever.
Yeah.
Yes, they sure have. And that's why the whole thing of they were joking or something like that is bullshit.
Playful teasing.
Yeah, because that is not the face of somebody who was playful teasing and got caught on camera doing that.
No. No, it's not.
I mean, if anybody has ever been in a fight before with their significant, you just know, even if it's not like, you just know that look that he just made. It was just like, oh, fuck. Like you got busted fighting in front of your parents, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And she put hands on him.
Yeah.
Have you ever put hands on Rocky
he did.
like that? Have you ever? Yeah, he did. Have you ever smacked Rocky or put hands on him? Mushed? Have you mushed?
I've hit his arm.
Yeah, that's a good one. You guys love that. You guys love the arm hit.
I haven't done that.
Yeah. He'd be harder because he's tall. You'd have to really get up there to mush him.
Yeah.
Like you'd be easy
not
shit
his face.
mush.
Yeah, just more the just shut up.
You can shut up, lady. You could totally palm you. Just fucking yeah. But yeah, you just hit a spot there with the arm punch. You guys all have these bony little hands and these bony knuckles. It hurts.
Yeah.
Hurts more than you know when you guys whack our arms.
There was this Rocky and I may have told the story before, but when we first started dating, we first started dating, and he got super
Nice.
drunk we were out, and he was being such an asshole to me, and even his friends were like, he's just being an asshole. And so I'm trying to tell him this as we're like, but he's so drunk, he's not comprehending it. Drunk. Okay, so I'm irritated. And even your friends said that you were being an asshole. And he looked at me, he's like, oh, really? He goes, did you get that recorded? And I was like, as in, like, did you record that with your phone? And I was like, oh, because I was recording him. I was like, I'm recording you so you can see what an asshole you are tomorrow.
Yeah.
And your friends even said you were being an asshole. And he was like, oh, really? Did you get that recorded? And the video stops, and you hear me go, you fucking ass. And I just know that I punched him.
How old are you at this point?
That was probably in like 2012. I don't know. I was
like 20 something. Yeah.
Yeah. 23. 20. If that happened now, I'd be like, okay, Rocky, whatever. I would have left him at the bar. I just would have been like, see ya. It was just, it was the beginning of a relationship. It was just the way he was like, did you get that recorded? I'm like, you fucking asshole. And I just punched him in the arm.
In his defense, it's not a bad comeback. Like, really, you filmed me in my worst, you asshole. What's the matter with you?
Right.
Like,
exactly.
No, did you get that recorded? I'd still be using that if I was him. I would encourage him to still use that.
Yeah.
Kind of weaponized. Oh, did you get that on film too? Asshole.
Yeah. It's one of those things now that we just laugh about, like, because it was so ridiculous. And then there was another time when we were arguing about something. This was also early in our relationship. And I was denying saying something. I was like, you were standing right there. And you said XYZ. And he goes, actually, I think I was standing right there, and pointed like 3 inches over. And I was like, do you want to die? Do you want to fucking die? Because that's where this is going.
Again, in Rocky's defense, he doesn't have a lot of winning moves here. And so for him to take it off point and be like, nah, actually I was over there. Like, he just bought himself minutes of like a female panic and flip out moment coming. Like, he's trying to get some.
I was so mad.
Yeah, he's trying to get some leverage and power back at that point. In an unwinnable situation, he's trying to get you to go off. This is a tactic you guys have mastered. Women have mastered this. Take it.
He knows how to get my goat.
Yeah. He was out for goat at that point. I don't blame him. This guy's. I'm liking him more and more.
Yeah.
I haven't had much of a.
John's gimpy Halloween hand sent a super chat.
Okay.
Thank you for that. That said, what became of Rocky's phone? That's crazy. Fuck Apple. That's crazy. It is crazy. John's gimpy Halloween hand.
Why is that crazy?
And remember they banned him from the apps show?
I don't think so.
Oh, I think I only talked about it on Big E's show, and I said I was going to talk about it on this show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, he was playing some game on his phone. I don't know what game
he was playing. What game?
Rocky was playing a game on his phone, on his Apple phone.
Okay.
And he's buying stuff in the game, whatever. And so then the card starts getting declined, and he's like, what? This is weird. And so he keeps trying to buy it. It's getting declined. And then it's like, you've been suspended from making purchases, whatever. So he calls Apple 3 different times, talks to 3 different people who basically tell him, your account's been detected for fraudulent activity. Your spending habits were abnormal. And so we have banned you from the app for life.
Seems reasonable.
He cannot buy another app ever in the App Store.
Wait a minute.
Like, yes. And he was like, this seems drastic AF. Okay. That you guys are banning me for life. And the guy was like, whoa, I see.
Possible.
I was listening to the conversations. I could not even believe what I was hearing. And they were like, well, the first guy was like, well, I see here that you tried to spend $150 one day. And Rocky's like, and? But he's like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to give you money and you're telling me that it's fraudulent. Like, and you're not my bank, BTW. That's my bank's job to tell me, hey, did you spend $150 at Apple? Is this fraudulent? It's not Apple's job to do that. And then they just kept saying, like, once you get on this list, you're on this list forever. You cannot come off of it. You cannot. And Rocky was like, so you're forcing me into Android, basically, because it's not even about this game anymore. If I just wanted to install my banking app, I can't get anything on the
this
app
doesn't
store.
this doesn't make any sense on any level.
I know.
Look, I got into a Candy Crush run I'm not proud of at one point.
I know we all have.
Yeah. Where is it safe to say I spent $10,000 in a month? Maybe,
Yes,
but nobody took issue at all.
I know.
I did it in like $2 increments too.
I know. And the guy that he talked to said, you know, I might get 100 calls a day and this happens to one person. But they're like, it happens every once in a while. And so the third person he talked to was sort of helpful. And she's like, I can tell that you're not some scammer. He's like, I'm just like a dude in Michigan, like trying to play a game. It's like, what are we, what are you doing here? And so she said, I'm going to submit a request to see if they'll overturn it. It really just depends on who ends up getting it and reviewing it and what kind of mood they're in that day, if they want to take you off of this list. So it's insane. So the last person did suggest that he get rid of his old Apple account, create a new one. He did that. And he just connected a different card to it. He didn't connect his debit card, that whatever was the issue. So he's been doing that and it's been fine. But he doesn't have, like, think of everything that's connected to your Apple ID, right?
Prior purchases,
everything is connected. Right.
Whatever level I'm on.
So it was this whole big thing, and it's just so crazy. I never heard of that.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, I'm trying to think, if I had to start over on this bullshit right now.
Oh, Mike, are you still playing?
Oh my God, dude. Playing is a strong word. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's basically a new version of Sims that Amy got me hooked on in Dallas, I think, is where you showed me that.
Yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, and you need to build a amusement park, and I'm already hooked, and I'm already expanding. It's just it's
I love it.
crazy.
I wish I could visit your amusement park.
You can't?
No,
is there a way to do that? Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I have issues with it. I like it much better on my iPad. I've got an iPad Pro or whatever. Yeah. So much better, but
playing it on the iPad's way better.
Yeah.
Mike, you get points on the
what?
weekend.
What was that?
So it's easier.
You do what?
Hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You get double points on the weekend when you play, so you level up faster.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm always get offered double points and all this shit. I don't know. It's amazing how addictive these games are.
Mike and I both have very addictive personalities.
Super. We are like 12-year-olds, 10-year-olds in that. Like, I get it with these kids. It's unfair. It's unfair for them. We're at least adults. You know, like Marshall famously spent $1,000 before my brother figured out.
Oh shit.
He racked up $1,000 in bullshit fucking add-ons to Minecraft games or whatever. And then he thought it was kind of cool too.
Yeah.
That he was
right.
It's kind of gangster that he racked up it was either $1,000 or $2,000.
Oh my God.
In charges. But you see them now, these kids, like, it's really unfair. I don't know. But going back to Brigitte Macron, what do you think? I mean, dude, you're on a flight, a presidential flight. She's taking a swing at him like he's taking a swing. I mean, it's a couple guys getting after it. No big deal.
Yeah. I mean, how else do you expect dudes to get, let out their aggression on each other?
Yeah.
Sword fight?
I'm trying to think, me and my boys have pushed each other from time to time. I mean, it's not like and, it happens. The thing
It is
that I
kind
find,
of like a sissy. It's like a sissy slap, though. It's like, meh.
well, yeah, he's a sissy guy. Brigitte
Yeah,
Macron is one of the pussiest little boys. Like,
exactly.
has probably had all kinds of surgeries and where
I
is
just
that gone,
feel
by the
like
way?
the emotional and physical abuse that has been done to Macron by
Mm-hmm.
Brigitte is off the charts.
Off the charts. Bananas. Bananas. Yeah.
BANANAS.
It's and this simulation, whatever this simulation is that we're living in, like, make it make sense. Make George Floyd a hero. Make Brigitte Macron not a monster. Make it make sense. Whatever this fucking
Yeah.
broken simulation we're in right now, like, no. That is a 40-year-old boy woman who molested a 14-year-old student and is now married and running France. And we're all like, yeah, nothing to see here.
Right.
Nothing to see here. Like, are you insane?
Yeah.
This, so, and this is the reporting we get. And I got this out of Global Desk. No, not the New York Times. Not any of the papers of record that you would think. And I went to Google just to see, like, where is this story? I'm sure Fox News is playing the video. I found it on the Economic Times, Sky News Australia's YouTube channel, The Guardian, Le Monde, Yahoo, GB News, The Independent, and Times of India.
Times of India, that's my go-to.
Times of India is great. They don't give a fuck.
No, they do not.
Like, think about it. You have a leader, right, of a country who was assaulted on camera by his, whatever the fuck Brigitte is. Let's be honest. At this point, there's so many questions. The cover-up is so clear. The reporting by Candace Owens is impeccable. Like, you either don't want to look at that for obvious reasons. I don't blame you if you're on that team. Or, but really, this is where that story is. You're still going to try and play that. I don't know how you can keep playing this game. And then the reporting from Global News is frequently asked questions. Was it a serious incident? I don't know. No one's fucking asked them anything about it, really. So how are you, Global Desk, going to answer that question? Well, according to Macron's team, no. Playful teasing, quote unquote, and a moment of personal humor between the couple. Oh, is that how we sign off on these things now? So we're going to do the Joe Biden is just fine. Ask the White House.
Right.
We're going to play that game again. Have you learned nothing?
Sliding.
Were the Macrons fighting is the next frequently asked question. Reports describe some bickering, but there's no suggestion of a serious argument. Okay, well, on to the next thing. Like, okay, so wait a minute.
That's all you have to say.
Playful teasing would be like, I pinched your butt as you walk down the aisle in front of me. You're my wife. I gotcha.
Exactly.
That's playful teasing.
Right.
And so now you're getting reports of bickering. Well, what do you mean bickering? And why is that good enough as an explanation? Like, bickering over...
I'm so sick and tired of people telling me that the opposite with my eyes is happening. I'm so sick of the gaslighting. I watched that with my own two eyes. I watched it, and I'm a fucking human being, and I can tell that they were arguing, and he caught red-handed by the cameras because you can see it in his face. So stop telling me that it's something that it wasn't, because it's offensive. It is so fucking offensive to all of us who can see.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I watched over the weekend Uncensored, Piers Morgan Uncensored, and he had Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson.
Yeah, I watched that.
Did you watch that? Dude, I tweeted something out at Piers afterwards. No one cares what I tweet, but it was just like, dude, if you don't see how insulting this is, this like, hold on, we're not going to blame Jake Tapper, really. He did ask at one point this relevant question about Mr. Biden's health. Right. White House. It's like, dude, are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you? kidding me
I know.
that you're going to try and skate? Like, Piers, you're better than that. You
Right,
are better than
right,
that.
right,
Don't come down. Like, this is no time to take the gloves off from these
right,
people. Jake
right.
Tapper becoming a multi-millionaire. No, it's crystal clear, okay? I finally did look into Jake Tapper a little bit because I knew I was right. That dude was the press secretary of, I think, 2 separate Democrat politicians running for office. Part of their campaigns when he was younger. And then he went on to work for some liberal rag. But and as I'm reading this, they're like, oh, but Jake ensures everybody that he's nonpartisan and he doesn't have a side. Like, as if there's some, like, you have to pay to be a part of a team or not. And I can declare anything I want.
Yeah.
I can declare to be an independent. I can it would make sense that a reporter would claim to be independent. It would be retarded for them to declare something. So I'm sorry, your behavior says something completely. You can't just be like, oh, no, he claims to be an independent. Oh, okay. Well, all his reporting on CNN says otherwise. And then you find out, oh, his wife works as a board member of a prominent Planned Parenthood fucking, like, yeah, all the pieces are lining up as to exactly what Jake Tapper is. And then you have the nerve, the gall, the balls, the temerity to go on TV and be like, well, it seems pretty straight and narrow. Now, but you need to do better, Jake. Well, I have humility. Good for you. No, fuck off.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Right.
There should be no place for this right now. This level of gaslighting has to end. And these people are clear. They're going to keep this picking this story up right here with Brigitte Macron. Let's pretend like it is so far beyond that little brief incident right there. Mm-hmm. Like, is anybody in the press going to do any real reporting besides Candace Owens? We're just going to call her a racist, a black racist, sexist, black racist woman. Like, okay.
You know what else they said on that Piers Morgan show was this wouldn't fly if it happened in England, because something like they have to get up in front of the parliament every Sunday and speak for an hour or some shit. And it's like 2 things. One, Donald Trump does that every fucking day.
Literally
for multiple hours. Yep. And you guys shit all over him for doing it. So just FYI, like, that wouldn't work in today's presidency either, because you would so very glaringly see it. You would see the decline. You people allowed him to go into hiding his entire presidency, and you never asked a question about it.
Yeah.
So the fact that you say this would have never, this would never work in England because he's got to get up and talk in front of Parliament. Why the fuck didn't any of you go, why aren't we ever hearing from the president? Yeah. Why, when we hear from the president, is it scripted? Why weren't any of you asking that question? That's on you. That's on you people.
His show is called The Lead.
We don't have access to the president.
That should have been the lead every single night until the question was answered. To find out from Piers Morgan, he rightly pointed out the quote on page 88 of Jake Tapper's brilliant new book, which I enjoyed every page of.
A ton of money on.
Yeah, that it screamed up the bestseller charts. He points out in there that one of the staffers, what did he call him? Like
longtime staffer
said, and then Jake said, oh, the interesting thing about this, he said that before the election.
Right.
What?
Right.
This guy said, yeah, basically, he's just got to get elected. And then we just have to give proof of life videos every few months.
Proof of life videos.
Yeah. For the president.
That's what their plan was for the country, was proof of life videos. That's how power hungry these motherfuckers are.
Yeah,
it is
monsters.
Sickening. It's sickening.
And that quote was given before the election. Think about that. So a news personality on CNN didn't find what were you holding that for 18 months for, Jake?
Right.
You've been researching this book for 18 months. My guess is longer than that, because why wouldn't you have told the second you got a quote like that from an upper level staff member from Joe Biden's office? What? And wait, you were still going to vote for him, Jake?
Right.
You still would have voted for him.
Right.
Like,
right.
Do you understand how corrupt and insane that is? Proof of life videos.
Proof of life. That was the Democrats' plan. Proof of fucking life.
I just feel so, I got an email from someone. Can't remember who it was. And they took issue with us. Not that we're getting to, it was from James. And I think he's right. I think he's absolutely right. And I feel embarrassed about it. He says, pisses you off. You know what pisses me off? You guys saying the media has been propagandist for 4, 8, 12 years. Our media has been nothing but propaganda since before this country's founding. Boston Massacre, Civil War, Spanish-American War, both world wars, all the way up to Joe C. Biden. They've been lying forever. You got to take off those pinko-colored glasses. Come on, man. He's not wrong with that. And that's the scariest part. It's like, I got to be honest. When I was younger, I didn't care. I was fucking around. I was having fun. And then when I worked in radio, we were fucking around. We were having fun. Someone else, more important people than us have this. They got this. You'd read some news. You started to see it. I started to notice it then. Like, this is bullshit. But you didn't realize to what level. Now that the covers come off, now that we have social media, now that we have the ability to look at this stuff in high def, see it captured, and like you just can't hide it and just be like, what? You didn't see what you think you saw. Like, you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And these people don't know how to react to this. Jake Tapper should be shamed away from being on, to be able to be in polite society right now.
This guy Jake acts like he didn't have a fucking television show that he could have talked about this every single night on. Like, it's so maddening. And then to just be like, I have humility. Buy my book. I have humility. Yeah. I'm telling you about it now, aren't I?
Yeah. It's insane. This is why you see the I was reading this story today, inside total grift to create the liberal Joe Rogan as out of touch Democrats blow millions.
They're still trying to create the next Joe Rogan.
Dude, this story is so funny.
Why don't they just go on fucking Joe Rogan?
Yeah. Yeah, they can't do that. They're missing the whole point of why podcasts are successful. Because you can't run cover and think you're still able to run cover and act like nothing to see here and gaslight people. Right. That's what you're missing.
Right.
That's what they're missing. Democrats continue to struggle through their journey in the political wilderness. But one problem they have identified is a loss of their grip on pop culture, self-inflicted completely, by the way. Mm-hmm. Their familiar effort to win the endorsements of celebrities failed to generate the same enthusiasm like it did back with Barack Obama. Trump's success was fueled by appealing to center-left podcast hosts, comedians, gamers, streamers, and online influencers who helped him seize an unprecedented number of votes of Americans previously ignored by the Republican Party. So young people, they're talking about influencers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's historically no point to going after young voters if you were the Republican parties. They eventually figure it out and then become Republican. The dangerous part for Democrats is, you pissed off an entire generation of young people.
Right.
Oops.
Yep.
Oops. Yep. Now what? We've never seen anything like this.
Right.
I good luck with that. Good luck with that. Hope you find the new Joe Rogan on the left to fix that. I bet you're all over it. Maybe David Hogg can do it for you.
Like, if your goal is to change minds, why don't you want to go on Rogan? Isn't he reaching the people who you're trying to change the minds of? Not just amplifying to your own echo chamber, your own base?
they had such complete control over these apparatus over the years that they
don't
didn't
know
think
what
it
to
was. No, they don't know what to do. It's hilarious. The New York Times revealed that several Democratic groups, they're on the right track here, have pitched ideas to amplify their politics online, many of them receiving millions from investors. Here's one of the tricks to do.
Investors are.
Yeah. Here's one of the tricks. Even smaller podcasts like Amy and I are doing right now, we don't pitch ideas. We just bullshit about what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
We don't come up with angles to convince you how to feel and how to vote on how to feel on a certain thing.
Unless it's Karen Reed.
Right. The search for the liberal Joe Rogan has become a punchline for Republicans who point out that Rogan was once a California liberal, but that the policies of the left drove him away. The left should stop and ask how they lost Joe Rogan in the first place, strategist Zach Henry said. But just like every other election, they skipped the introspection and doubled down. More spin, more propaganda, never any accountability. They had the liberal Joe Rogan. His name was Joe Rogan until their psychotic policies alienated him. Dems still don't get Rogan's appeal, but an apolitical fan base over 25 years, precisely because people trust he isn't bought and paid for. Instead of reversing their insane policies that are not rooted in common sense, they have alienated every reasonable person in America. Democrats are going to double down on their insanity and just invest millions to astroturf shills of their policies. Left-wing efforts to astroturf talk radio resulted in failed projects such as Air America, which crumbled. Even Democratic strategists appeared discouraged by the conversation stemming from activists trying to raise money to try and build their own networks. There is no liberal Joe Rogan because there isn't a conservative Joe Rogan, wrote former Kamala Harris political strategist Mike Nellis on X. He's a fucking entertainer. Go on his show and engage with his audience. Yeah, these guys don't understand. Sleek studios don't matter. So putting Michelle Obama and his brother on a podcast and having lighting right and all that, none of that shit matters. Having Gavin Newsom, none of it. That's the part they don't get. You shit on... First off, you shit on straight white men, especially. You did. And I can already hear people going, oh, are you the victims? Oh, are you you poor straight white? No one's a victim. They just turned you off. Yeah. People that you do all of society's ills, all the problems of the world. Fine. You want to say that straight white men caused all of them? Good luck with that. But I can tell you what they're not going to do. They're not going to sit there and be browbeaten by you. That's what they're not going to do. They're going to go find something else. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go talk about other shit. They're going to shut off your stuff and they're going to go find something to listen to that they have fun listening to. They're going to find podcasts, which is exactly what happened. And they stopped listening to all of you. They stopped listening to the messages coming out of the universities, coming out of Hollywood, coming out of the liberal press, and everything else.
Yeah. And I think people are forgetting that, it wasn't that long ago that Joe Rogan said he would never have Donald Trump on his podcast. Mm-hmm. So to act as though he was always some Trump apologist who has only lived to, hoist up Donald Trump's voice is insane. It's absolutely fucking insane. Well, they won't call it what it is.
What did you say?
To act like he just has always been this Trump, propagandist is insane. Like and so, they what they won't admit is they didn't want to touch Rogan because they saw him kind of like what you were saying as this white dude who had this masculine energy. They didn't like him. They tried to change the color of him when he had COVID on CNN because he wasn't taking the vaccine and, he was. So they didn't want to associate with him. They could have. They didn't want to. And also, when it comes to Kamala, I don't think she can. I mean, certainly Biden couldn't, but Kamala can't sit down with Joe Rogan for 3 hours unedited. Are you kidding me? That would be a
No.
disaster.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would have done it.
Yeah. And the problem is, it's such an oxymoron to say, like, the left's Joe Rogan, the left, like, here's what you still don't get. It's that nobody, no adult likes being told what to do, how to do it, how to feel, or what's acceptable to say. None of us. Like, we all understand the ground rules. Don't be an asshole. Jay and I used to say it all the time. Hey, how about we start with don't be an asshole? Like, don't try to make someone feel like shit. The other thing is, when you're talking about men, guys love talking shit. I love coming on here and vagine busting Amy about having a migraine, right? Like, it doesn't make me a shitty person. It doesn't mean I think less of Amy or women. It's just fun. She fucks with me. I fuck with her. Jay and I did it. E and Jay and I did it. Troy and I did. Like, that's what guys like doing. It doesn't say who I am as a person and all that kind of shit. And the space the left has created was a series of landmines. That's all it is. You all felt it. You know, like, if you looked at someone and went, Jesus Christ, nice outfit, homo. Like, canceled, how do we get them removed from polite society? Like, all that kind of shit that all of us kind of grew up understanding the rules of engagement can be pushed too far sometimes, and there's levels to it. But unless you can overcome that, where if some guy comes in a miniskirt, guess what? He might take a little shit for that. It doesn't mean you hate that person. It doesn't mean you won't go, I don't know, Pete wants to be called Sally now. Okay, cool. Well, I'm still going to bust Pete's balls on behalf of Sally. So, and it doesn't mean that you want to go to war or their life is being threatened or they don't feel they're in a safe space. None of that shit was real. None of it is still real. And so that's the problem they're going to have, because you could get back in the conversation in the game, but you would need to drop all that shit.
Yeah. And do you know that they would get so much shit from their base, because their base are the same people who walked out of Spotify to protest Joe Rogan getting a fat contract from them. Mm-hmm. So, like, they don't want to go on Joe Rogan. They want their own Joe Rogan. That's what they're telling you. They don't want Joe Rogan. They want their own Joe Rogan.
Right.
And that's not a thing.
The problem is kind of what that strategist said. Like, you want a Joe Rogan, but you can't put Joe Rogan in a box. Like, he did an interview. I was listening over the weekend, actually. He had what's her name on? The chick that was accused of murder in France. Amanda Knox.
Yeah.
Amanda Knox. And I only listened to 45 minutes. I was on a drive somewhere.
In France.
France.
Oh.
Italy? Was it Italy?
I don't know.
Is there a difference between France and Italy?
Nah, not really.
Okay. So he had her on, and she, at one point, she's a total fucking libtard. Total libtard. And I admired Joe. There were certain moments in there where I was like, I would have gone off the reservation. Like, it's hard not to. He stayed in the pocket, was very calm. And she was like, she said something like, how did she word it? She does work with, like, the Innocence Project, right? Which is another funded by the government. You can't raise money for yourself, so you need the government to do it, pay for it. And she's like, she tried to allude to, and this current government is taking all our funding away. So, you know, the wildly innocent people are going to be convicted everywhere because Trump, bad. Mm-hmm. And Joe was just like, well, what's going on with, what is it, some NGO that funds, and just had a rational, reasonable conversation. And she got tripped up on a couple spots.
Yeah, I'm sure she couldn't explain it.
Yeah. And then Joe was like, well, that seems pretty simple. And we can reach out to some people to talk about, you know, you're probably going to have some blind spots. when you're trying to eliminate fraud. But here's what's been going on, Amanda. There's been all kinds of fraud to the tune of blah, blah, blah. And he just kind of went down that road, and she kind of had no idea like that was a thing. And then she agreed with him. And it's like, yeah, if you take 2 minutes to listen to like, here's what the thinking is on this and why this is a problem. But yeah, you guys might be a totally on the up and up group and got mixed up in this, and we need to get your funding reestablished. And, that sounds like a worthy cause. And she obviously went through it personally. And you can, but it required two different people with completely different views of the world being able to sit down together and rationally discuss their points of view to get to a place where they mostly agreed.
Right. But also, why is our government funding the Innocence Project?
Yeah, I know.
It seems a little counterintuitive.
I think it's totally, dude. I had the same thought. What
if you just didn't prosecute the wrong people at the beginning, government?
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have to donate to the fucking Innocence Project.
Right. Well, so first off, I think the Innocence Project is a branded thing, and it's something like that. It's one of those groups. So I don't think it's the actual Innocence Project. I think that's a separate thing than what she is. But your point is not wrong. Yeah. And she tried to explain like why it costs so much money and time to essentially reopen a case and relitigate it and find witnesses again.
I get that. That makes sense.
Right.
But the government funding it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Where do you think that goes in the end? Do you think they successfully get out of this and find their Joe Rogan? No. Saying stuff like manosphere is you've already lost. No guy I know would ever say manosphere or something like that.
They don't understand the problem. So no, they're not going to be able to fix the problem.
Yeah. I think you're right.
I did see though, Mike, that House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer sent out requests to 4 of the key Biden White House aides: former Director of Policy Neera Tanden, former Assistant to the President and Deputy Chief of Staff Annie Tomasini, former Senior Advisor to the First Lady Anthony Bernal, he was a big one, and former Deputy Director of Oval Office Operations Ashley Williams. They were the high-ranking staffers who were running our country for the last 4 years. So they're bringing them in front of the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform.
Yeah, so they're going to have to lie under oath or risk I don't know what. Like
plead the fifth. Can you do that?
You could if you gave them pardons on some level, like they do with Fauci. Like Fauci can't lie since he can't be prosecuted.
Right.
He can't plead the fifth anymore.
Right.
So if you were to give these people, but to me, these people are guilty of treason. I hate to throw that word around because the left tried to do it last time. Like Trump's guilty of treason. They still do. Go look at Dave Abruzzes's Facebook page blowing in the wind. Every day Trump is guilty of treason. So I hate playing that game. I don't know how you can look at, with everything that's come out, what all these douchebags are capitalizing on now, their books about the cover up and how that's not treason. I don't know. And maybe you could explain it, Amy. I don't know. To me,
no, I mean, or one of those fuckers better have been the one that said the thing about the body double or the proof of life. We just have to show proof of life because I'm going to need some more info on that.
Do they have an argument? Like, well, there's always an administration that has a team of people. And I was being hyperbolic when I said,
no, they don't have an argument.
I don't think they do either.
Because that is what they were doing. They were bringing out proof of life videos every few months. That is what they were doing. So it's so fucking crazy.
Well, there was another story in here, like, do you want to go through some of that stuff? Like Dan Bongino, okay, deputy director of the FBI, announced that the FBI, he announced this today or yesterday, last night, would further its investigation into coke being found in the White House and the leak of the draft of the Dobbs decision by the Supreme Court that overruled Roe v. Wade and the pipe bombs that were left near the DNC and RNC offices in D.C. in January of 21. Do you think it's worth going and looking at this stuff? Like the White House one,
the coke, I don't give a fuck about.
I know. I don't either.
I don't give a fuck about that.
I mean, it was more than like, okay, worst case. I mean, I don't even know what, like, either a guest brought it in.
Yeah, we all know it was Hunter's coke, right?
Probably. Or it could have been some fucking cokehead on a tour and whatever, put in like.
It was in like the residence bathroom, though. Like it wasn't in a public tour bathroom.
Well, it was, let's see if they say, I thought they said, so the Biden family, on that, discovered powder coke in a vestibule cubby at the White House where visitors store mobile phones. The problem is, I don't know that these people are.
That's not where they found it.
This is according to them. Biden and his family were at Camp David. Is that? I don't remember that. The Secret Service concluded its investigation 10 days later. There was no surveillance video footage found that provided leads or any other means for investigators to identify who may have deposited the found substance in this area. Without physical evidence, the investigation will not be able to single out a person of interest from the hundreds of individuals who passed through the vestibule where the coke was discovered. At this time, the Secret Service's investigation closed due to lack of physical evidence. Well, that's disturbing on a whole other level. If you are so inept that excuse flies at the fucking White House, what's supposed to be the most secure house on planet Earth, that's a real problem. You have blind spots that glaring in the White House. So I don't know, but ineptitude, I guess I wouldn't put past these people at this point.
It says a storage locker near the entrance to the White House's West Wing. I just feel like, yeah, it does look like it was found in like a cubby locker, maybe an employee or something. But
yeah,
if it's in this general area that pretty much any Joe Schmo can get to, why are you investigating it? Who gives a fuck? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Why? Like,
yeah,
I'd be like, at least I left it in my locker.
And if
I didn't bring it on the tour, I didn't bring it on the fucking tour with me. I left it in the locker with my cell phone and I forgot to grab it.
Yeah. My bad. And honestly,
that would be like me. That would be like me leaving my vape pen behind. Like, yeah, I didn't bring it on my tour of the White House, but I had it in my fucking pocket, so I left it in the cubby.
Honestly, Amy, if they were to, like, we have hundred hours of Hunter Biden doing crack and coke in all forms on video.
Yeah,
there's and you don't care about any of that. So, okay, say it's Hunter's. Say it's a general person. Like, who gives a shit? Oh, you found a fucking $10 baggie? Wait till you see what's in the laptop.
Right.
Holy shit. Like,
yeah, it's
who
not
gives
like
a
it
shit
was
about
like
a nickel bag?
It was like a personal size baggie of coke.
Yeah, like, who cares? The pipe bomb ones seems crazy, seeing as you were able to haul grannies into fucking prison over, stepping one foot into the White House.
That one.
Or that one seems like total bullshit anyways. I mean, you were doing like facial recognition scans and, cross-referencing phones and ATM records to see who was on the grounds of the Capitol. So, yeah, I don't buy that you can't figure that one out. That one seems relevant.
Yeah.
But, the Dobbs leak.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one too.
That's a pretty big one.
But why wasn't the assassination attempt mentioned in there?
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah.
I'd rather know about that than the cocaine.
It's disappointing, to say the least. The fact that family hasn't been interviewed by anyone. Has anyone interviewed them? Have you seen them on anything?
No.
Talking about their son who, I don't know, pulled out a fucking rifle and shot through the ear of the president?
Yeah.
Or, the former president at the time? Yeah, I'm more and more disappointed with these guys, because I honestly believe that this was your chance. Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi. That Epstein one is really fucking disturbing, Ames. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, it is. No doubt. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, my head is like.
Let's do a couple of emails and we'll get out of here.
Explode.
Is there an update you wanted to give? I know you've mentioned her a couple times, but is there anything pressing today that you wanted to mention?
No, I will give an update tomorrow because the accident reconstructionist for the Commonwealth Day, and he should finish up tomorrow. We still don't know how she hit John with her car.
Sure.
So I'm hoping we get to that at some point. But I'll have an update tomorrow because he is supposedly their last witness, and then it'll be decided for that.
Okay. Jeff emails in Biden cancer. Just imagine the celebration the lefties would have if 47 came down with stage 4. I was saddened, but not surprised to hear they were hiding Joe's diagnosis. Probably the worst and most corrupt president we've ever had. But it's still sad that he's going down that way. I don't know that it's sad. It's expected. 82-year-olds get cancer. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's a long life. I'm not shitting on him, not celebrating anything, but just saying. All right, let's do one more and then we'll get you out of here. The AIDS. One of my teachers told us AIDS was originally from a Navy sailor in the 40s. She was a full-on bulldyke, so I never believed a word she said. I tend to be skeptical of mentally insane people. Oh, James. Yeah, we were talking last week about who was it? We were looking for the origin story of AIDS.
Yeah, the gay flight attendant from Canada.
Yeah, we had heard something like that, and then we'd heard about monkeys, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you got to the bottom of it, at least as far as Wikipedia is concerned. All right, go feel better. What are you going to take? Some Midol? Are you going to do a towel on the head?
I've got migraine medicine. I'm going to go take that.
All right. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for being here with us today. Thank you, Ames, for fighting through. Feel better.